Good morning, students. Once again, welcome you all in the English class. So, today we are going to start the third part of the chapter Indigo by Louis Fischer. As we all know very well, that Mahatma Gandhi was a man of principles, okay, and he believed in non-violence, humanity, tolerance, and all, okay. And then the theme of the chapter Indigo. You all know very well, I have described it what the chapter Indigo emphasizes the fact that effective leadership can solve any kind of problems without any harm to anybody. This chapter deals with the way Mahatma Gandhi solved the problem of poor sharecroppers of Champaran in a non-violent way. We have come to know very at a very start what that this chapter is what an excerpt taken out from the life of Mahatma Gandhi by Louis Fischer. Okay, so in this chapter he has described how Mahatma Gandhi used non-violence as a tool in politics. Okay, so over here we have come to know that one more thing is what effective leadership. Mahatma Gandhi's effective leadership had solved the problem of indigo sharecroppers in Champaran in Bihar. And we all know very well that Champaran episode is a turning point in Mahatma Gandhi's life. Okay, and this movement was launched in 1917. So first satyagrah by Mahatma Gandhi. The message of the story is what? The story Indigo highlights the unequal economic system that existed during colonial British rule. It resulted in Indian peasants suffering while the British planters exploited them. It also highlights the importance of Gandhi's decision to take up their case, which exposed the unjust system. Because over there in Champaran, we have come to know that Britishers forced peasants to grow indigo, and whole indigo was surrendered to Britishers as a rent. So, indigo introduction to the chapter. Just have a quick review. In the chapter Indigo, the author Lee Fischer describes the struggle of Gandhi for the poor peasants of Champaran who had to share their crops with the British planters. This made their life miserable as they were forced to grow indigo according to an agreement. Means they were forced, and we all know very well that with growing of indigo, land becomes barren. Okay, so this was the problem. An overview is over here in this excerpt from his biography. Whose biography? Whose biography? Louis Fischer. Louis Fischer has written biography on Mahatma Gandhi. Entitled Life of Mahatma Gandhi, Fischer describes a historic incident from the Indian independence movement, the Champaran Satyagraha of 1917 Bihar. It is a vivid account of British officials' hostility towards the local population and their oppressive policies during their regime in India. The excerpt, which excerpt? Beta Indigo, describes how a seemingly insignificant incident triggered, means a very small insignificant, you can say insignificant incident, Champaran movement triggered the non-cooperation movement for the first time in modern India. It also highlights indigo problem, which triggered the non-cooperation movement. It also highlights Gandhi's strong activist agenda to instill confidence, courage, and self-reliance in the masses, as well as to better their living and social condition. We will see in the last. Now here what is there that we have come to know that Mahatma Gandhi was attending annual convention, okay, in where? In Lucknow, okay, in the year 1917 we have gone through. And over there a person approached Mahatma Gandhi. His name was Rajkumar Shukla, okay, and Mahatma Gandhi went to attend the annual meeting of the National Congress at Lucknow. A small farmer peasant named Rajkumar Shukla came to him. He requested Gandhi to visit Champaran. But Gandhi told Shukla that first of all he did not know where was Champaran, and moreover he had an appointment in Kavanpur and was also committed to go to other parts of India. Shukla accompanied him everywhere. For weeks he never left Gandhi's side. Then he begged, fixed a date, fixed it. Means he followed Mahatma Gandhi everywhere. You can see here in the picture, okay? He followed Mahatma Gandhi everywhere. Finally, Mahatma Gandhi was agreed. Why? Mahatma Gandhi was agreed with the tenacity and story Gandhi said, okay? Page number 47, paragraph number 4, just see below line, fix a date. Impressed by sharecroppers' tenacity and story, Gandhi said, I have to be in Calcutta on such and such date. Come and meet me and take me from there. Months passed. Okay. Shukla was sitting on his haunches at what? On his haunches at appointed spot in Calcutta when Gandhi arrived. He wanted till Gandhi was free. Then the two of them boarded a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. Then we have come to know that Shukla led Mahatma Gandhi to Rajendra Prasad's house. Why? I have already described it. Why? Because Rajendra Prasad was dealing case of Rajkumar Shukla and other peasants, and Rajkumar Shukla thought whatever he was unable to impart Mahatma Gandhi, that could be imparted by Rajendra Prasad. But at Rajendra Prasad house, what happened? At Rajendra Prasad house, servants behaved very badly with Mahatma Gandhi. Very badly with Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi was not permitted to draw water from well, lest some drops from his bucket pollute the entire source. So this made Gandhi what? Angry. Why? Because he thought that same untouchability or caste system was prevailing in India at that time. So he was angry and he wanted to collect more information, the reality of Bihar and Champaran. So Gandhi decided to proceed to Muzaffarpur. So we have to start page number 47. Gandhi decided to go first to Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran, en route on the way, to obtain more complete information about conditions than Shukla was capable of imparting. He accordingly sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani. J.B. Kriplani, whom he had met and seen at Tagore Shantiniketan school. And who was J.B. Kriplani? He was professor of the Arts College in Muzaffarpur. Point to be noted. At that time, government officials were not given any permission to give shelter or to show sympathy or to show, you can say, to show what warm welcome to the any home rule advocate. So whom he had seen at Tagore Shantiniketan school, the Gandhiji decided to go to Muzaffarpur, which was on the way to Champaran, to obtain the complete information. He sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani. Gandhi took a train to Muzaffarpur that arrived at midnight on 15th April 1917. Point to be noted. Means Rajkumar Shukla met Mahatma Gandhi in 1916, okay, in the month of December. And Mahatma Gandhi took 4 months to reach what? Champaran, Bihar, okay, and Muzaffarpur 15th April 1917. Why he was in Muzaffarpur? Because he would like to collect more information. Kriplani was already waiting there with his students because Arts College, he was professor in Arts College, and at that time there was, you can say, Gandhi was in limelight. Why? Because Gandhiji recently returned from South Africa, and he had shown his, you can say, he had shown his victory, or he had proved himself, he had shown his confidence in South Africa. So Gandhi was in news. So that's why when Gandhi arrived at arrived at midnight, 15th April 1917. Kriplani was waiting at the station with a large body of students. Gandhi stayed there for 2 days in the home of Professor Malkani, point to be noted, a teacher in government school. And Gandhi said that it was an extraordinary thing in those days. Why it was an extraordinary thing? Because at that time, means when Britishers were ruling, it was an extraordinary thing, means government officers were not allowed to give any shelter to any advocate. Moreover, officials were scared of losing the job, but still Professor Malkani sheltered him. So it was an extraordinary thing in those days. Gandhi commented, for a government professor to harbor a man like me, means Gandhi had a reputation. Gandhi was a lawyer, okay, and in smaller localities the Indians were afraid to show sympathy for advocates of home rule. Fine. So the news of Gandhi's advent and of the nature of his mission spread quickly. When Gandhi arrived in Muzaffarpur, the news of Gandhi's arrival and his mission, nature of his mission, means reason behind of his arrival when it was spread in where, in Champaran and villages near Bihar. Okay, so his mission spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. Sharecroppers who were waiting for Mahatma Gandhi from Champaran began arriving on foot and by conveyance. Somebody, means someone started on foot, someone by conveyance to see their champion, means they believed that Mahatma Gandhi would definitely do something for them. Okay, and made themselves and made their condition good. So Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. Then Mahatma Gandhi ji called all the lawyers to brief the situation of Champaran. They frequently represented peasant groups in courts. Why? Because those lawyers were dealing the cases of those peasants. Suppose in case Rajendra Prasad was dealing 2-3 cases, Maulana Haq was dealing 2-3 cases. So many lawyers were there who were dealing the cases of peasants. And they were fighting for the cause of peasants, but they were taking fees. Okay, and there was nothing benefit of those cases. Why? Because in the rule, who was there? British. Okay, so they told him about their cases. Lawyers informed Mahatma Gandhi about their cases and reported the size of their fee. Gandhi chided the lawyers, chided means scolded, for doing something wrong, chided the lawyers for collecting big fee from the sharecropper, chided means scolded. Why? Because lawyers were collecting big fee from the sharecroppers, and sharecroppers who were already crushed, why to take fees with them? So he said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to law courts. Mahatma Gandhi after taking a view of the situation, he came on a result. What? I came to a conclusion that we should stop going to law courts. Taking such cases to the courts does little good. Means if we will take such cases to the courts, does little good. Why? Because in the government whose rule was at that time Britishers, and they would never give justice to the farmers. Okay, so taking such cases to the courts does little good, where the peasants are so crushed, and moreover peasants are already crushed. So after giving fee, their condition become very miserable. So where the peasants are so crushed with fear and fear stricken, law courts are useless. The real relief for them is to be free from fear. So Mahatma Gandhi told that we should make these peasants to be free from fear. Fine. So we have done up to here. Now, tomorrow we will understand that what will happen when Mahatma Gandhi reach Champaran. Will Britishers allow Mahatma Gandhi to solve the problems of Champaran? Okay, we will see tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. go through the chapter and try to understand. Okay, thank you.